The Truth About Reptilians. My name is Bill. Welcome to the Night Terrors Weekend Show. Catch the original Night Terrors series. I forgot to say we're starting right now, and we're starting right now. Catch the original Night Terrors series on Rumble, all the classic shows in their original order. By the way, welcome to Eldergrown and Oh No, It's Taco. Elder says it's showtime. Yes, we have a Discord. Click on the link in the description below. This is our show schedule. Oh, it's over here. This is our show schedule. Brand X-ray videos drop early Wednesday mornings on YouTube. And Wednesday night is movie night, where you see a terrifying double feature only on Twitch. Coming up this Wednesday. Kingdom of the Spiders. Investigating the mysterious deaths of a number of farm animals, the town's veterinarian, played by Bill Shatner, discovers that the town lies in the path of hordes of migrating tarantulas. Before he can take action, the streets are overrun by killer spiders, trapping a small group of townsfolk in a remote hotel. Welcome to Rhino Rex. Welcome to Gotcha Man. Thank you, Gotcha Man. By the way, Gotcha Man, thanks for all your hard work on this. Gotcha Man has successfully restored the movie vault, so thank you. The work you are doing is above and beyond. By the way, love the cat. For those of you who have only seen the host as the glowing skull, tune in this Wednesday to check out the new persona of your Night Terrors double feature host, Gotcha Man. Jack11 says good evening. Chad Martin is here. He says, reptilians, my favorite topic. And Blunghole has arrived. Welcome, Blunghole. David Bryce is here. I think I may have missed one person back there. Did I miss a person? Trying to get that slide bar. Those little slide bars are so hard to grab onto. Come on. What is wrong with my slide bar? Try now. Got it. Yeah, I missed Rhino Rex. Welcome, Rhino Rex. Big Lebowski, says Lizard People. Welcome, Big Lebowski. And in the second part of the double feature, The Immortal, in which an immortal man whose blood can have miraculous health benefits for those who seek him is a fugitive from those who would exploit him. And he is also searching for the brother who may have the same miraculous blood. Elder Grown, thank you for the contribution. Much appreciated, Elder. Elder says, something Internet of Tube. On the Internet of Tubes, Bill will appear. Gather close. Spooky tales to hear. I could have read that with better cadence, but thank you, Elder. Welcome to Jupiter's Realm, who says hello to everyone. If you enjoy the show, please consider buying me a coffee. This supports the work I do here on Night Terrors. Link in the description below. Let's get started. I got to take off those movies. There we go. Gabriel Irwin has greetings. Thank you, Gabriel. Green Tea has arrived. Welcome, Green Tea. Here at top10s.net is an article by Robert Grimmick. Grimmick. Synchro 505 is here. Welcome, Michael. Entitled 10 Things You Should Know About the Reptilian Conspiracy Theory. Let's get right to the point. Origins. And Mr. Grimmick writes, welcome, James Hubbard. Oh, thank you, James. Oh no, its taco has reached a watch streak. Hopefully that was accompanied by fireworks. Thank you, Taco. And Mr. Grimmick begins. There are two schools of thought on where reptilians came from. Some believe they evolved here on Earth, then left Earth after they mastered intergalactic travel, but returned millions of years later. Others believe their home planet is in the Draco constellation. Supposedly they came to Earth thousands of years ago, sharing the Earth with people. Then they either decided or were forced to go undercover and hid themselves from our reality. They also began to interbreed with humans, first by altering our DNA. This altering of the DNA had a twofold effect. They did this so we don't use our brain to its full capacity, putting a limit on our consciousness and making us easier to control. We have reptile genes within our brain. In fact, the reptilian brain is the oldest of the three parts that control the brain. The second effect is that people with reptile DNA in them can be possessed by reptilians who live outside of our realm. Outside of our realm of awareness in the lower fourth dimension. These human-reptile hybrids, considered demigods, were able to gain power in the ancient civilizations of Sumer, Babylon, and Mesopotamia. Thank you, Green Tea, for the topic. I like it. Ooh, where did that go? There we are. My topic tracker is now active. Thank you, Green Tea. These hybrids were able to gain power. And as humankind started to colonize the rest of the planet, the reptiles also spread across the earth, becoming the royal families throughout the world. James Hubbard wants to know, how would I know if I am a reptilian? They say that many do not know. But that's a good question. Let's find out if there's an answer online. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask AI. In the view of believers in the reptilian humanoid theory, how do I know if I am a reptilian? And AI answers, certain traits are often associated with being a reptilian or having reptilian ancestry, which means you have reptilian DNA. These theories, popularized, suggest that reptilians are shape-shifting beings who disguise themselves as humans. According to believers, some signs that you might be a reptilian include unusual characteristics of the eyes. You may have piercing eyes, or you may be said to have piercing eyes. You may be said to have eyes which change color. Heightened intelligence or intuition. A supposed reptilian trait is possessing above-average intelligence, strategic thinking, or a strong sense of intuition. A cold-blooded tendency. Welcome, Larry Sharp. Larry Sharp says, hey, everyone. Chad Martin says, many believe Rh-negative blood could be an indicator. Thank you, Chad. If you feel colder than most people or prefer warm environments, or if you can only move when you're in the warm environments. That's my little addition there to AI. Some claim this could be a sign of reptilian heritage. Influence or leadership skills. Reptilians gravitate towards positions of power. Unexplained experience or unexplained memories. Hybrids may have strange dreams or visions or memories that don't fit into their human life. Psychic or empathic abilities. Reptilians have telepathic abilities or an enhanced connection to people's emotions. Love for space or ancient civilizations. Interest in space. Interest in ancient cultures, especially Sumerian or Egyptian mythology. Or interest in esoteric knowledge is sometimes called a reptilian trait. Thank you, AI. As humankind started to colonize the rest of the planet, so did the reptiles spread across the face of the earth. By having power in every single country. Taco, thank you for the contribution. Much appreciated, Taco. Taco says, we all have reptilian DNA. Some don't show it, and some exploit it to the max. Well put. Infinite Sky says, reptilian, and welcome Infinite Sky. Reptilian beings are said to originate in Alpha Draconis. I guess Draconis is the name of the constellation. The Latin name, perhaps. By having power in every single country, the reptilians have created a global prison in which people do not realize they are in. Prime 114 is here. Prime 114 believes that their eyes do shift color. My eyes are also hazel, I am told. Thank you, Prime. This prison was created by drawing country lines, which leads to endless wars and conflicts. Another way they control humans is by distracting us with media, entertainment, and even politics. They've also made the population stupid and lazy by poisoning the food, the air, and the water. And we helped. Essentially, the lizard people altered our brains to limit our ability. They installed most, if not all, world leaders throughout history. Those leaders, in turn, contributed to all major historical events. Finally, for thousands of years, they've been poisoning humankind. And all of this was done to ensure they control us. Number 9 in the countdown. Welcome, Ryu 1972, who says, so V is how it goes. There's a hierarchy when it comes to reptilians. Notably, there are 2 classes, full-bloods and crossbreeds. One might say hybrids. Full-bloods are aware that they are reptilians and can change form between a human exterior and true reptilian skin. Also, the full reptiles are not wearing an actual physical disguise. Instead, their human shell is created through vibrations that alter the human minds around them. So our brains just think it sees a human. It's similar to how the aliens disguise themselves in John Carpenter's cult classic, They Live. This explains why reptilians are taller than us, but wear a human-sized disguise. They don't actually shrink in size. Our brains just register them as normal human height, because changing physical size is considered impossible. On the other hand, hybrids or crossbreeds are not aware that they are a reptilian, or most are not aware, and believe they are humans, but are controlled from the lower 4th dimension to push forward the same agenda, an agenda known as the New World Order. Among these two different types, there are different races. At the top of the pecking order are the Dracos, who are winged albino reptiles. Below them is a race called the Reptoids, who do not have wings, and have brown and green skin. The Reptoids are soldiers and scientists, and responsible for secret government programs, secret government bases, such as the Montauk Project, an alleged group of tests done by the United States Army, where they tried to develop fringe technologies like time travel. How to spot one. Some general characteristics. Oh, we did the characteristics. We pretty much did the characteristics and how to tell if you have reptilian DNA. Suspected reptilian. There are a number of famous people who are suspected of being reptilian. This includes such notable families. Welcome, Two Feathers. Two Feathers says the aliens are pushing NWO. I didn't know that. Yes, dear. This includes such notable families as the Rockefellers in the U.S., the Rothschild family from Germany, and the British House of Windsor. It's also believed that many of the presidents of the U.S. are reptilian, or were, including Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, apparently higher than Bill in the hierarchy, Barack Obama, and both the presidents Bush. In fact, the Bushes are an integral part of the conspiracy because of how many of the famous people are related to them. According to Ancestry.com, George W. Bush and Obama are 11th cousins, and Dick Cheney is his 9th cousin once removed. Other blood relatives directly related to the Bushes include Abraham Lincoln, Marilyn Monroe, Pocahontas, Hugh Hefner, John Kerry, Vlad the Impaler, and Princess Diana. That means that possibly all of those people are actually reptilian as well. Not only have the reptilians infiltrated banking, government, and the world's royalty, but they are also some well-known and beloved entertainers like Bob Hope, Brad Pitt, and Angelina Jolie. Needless to say, with so many possible reptilians among us, that makes it hard to trust anyone. Blood is very important for reptilians. Welcome, Michael Frick. Asks, is this for real? Kylie West says Alex Jones is sent by the Almighty. Thank you, Kylie. Kylie also says King Charles is half reptilian. Drifted Cowboy is here. Drifted Cowboy says Alex Jones is sent by Mossad. Pawns to Pieces says hello. Thank you, Pawns to Pieces. I'm sorry, Pawns to Prizes. Thank you, brother. I just got lost in a little, what do you call it? Brain spasm. I had a brain spasm about chess for a minute, because chess is life. Grandmaster Gav 36 is here. Grandmaster says Rick James was a reptilian because he was cold-blooded. Blood is very important. For one thing, reptilians apparently consume it. They also eat parts of human brains, and apparently prefer younger ones, because they are not as full of poison as older ones. Besides just eating our blood, bloodlines are also an important feature in the reptilian world. You can supposedly tell someone is reptilian by tracing their bloodline. It's believed that around 400, it's got a 4 in it, 4,800 years BC, the hybrids emerged from the mountains of Turkey, Iran, and Kurdistan, and started the early civilizations of Sumer, Egypt. Welcome, Juji. Babylon and the Indus Valley. This explains how humans became civilized and accomplished some amazing things. The hybrids kick-started them. Thank you, lizard overlords. From these civilizations, humans began to migrate, and the reptilians went with them. All bloodlines of the supposed reptilian people can be traced back to this area. There are markers in some people's physical blood as well, from the area of the world where the hybrids originated. There are more people with an incredibly rare blood type called RH. It says here it's called RH and RH negative. That's incorrect. RH negative is just the absence of the RH blood type. Other than being only rare, when a baby is born with RH positive blood, their skin turns blue. And this is supposedly where the term blue blood comes from. That's number 6. Sacred Intuition says hello. Drifted Cowboy says, I wonder a lot about the supposed cultures that built temples and religions around human sacrifice. Yeah, to whom would human life be the least precious? Good evening, Kanga Kong. Glad to see you here, hon. What's the topic? It is the truth about reptilians. Thank you, Kanga. Let's move on down. Biblical references. Kylie says reptilians are fallen angels because Satan himself is a reptilian. As proof that reptilians do exist, a number of passages in the Bible include one of the most famous stories, the fall of man. In Genesis, Adam and Eve are cast out of the Garden of Eden because Eve was tempted by a serpent. This represents a change in human and reptilian relationships. Reptilians used to walk the earth, and humans were aware of their existence. But at some point they went underground and hid from humans and started the crossbreeding process. The moment when they went undercover is called the schism, and that is what the story of Adam and Eve represents. Another biblical passage that supposedly references reptilians is Genesis 6, 1 through 4, which reads, Mr. Kilroy asks, Bob Hope was a reptilian. According to the reptilian theorists, that is correct. Back to Genesis. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth, let's go to another source to read this. Let's look it up. Not there. Here. Let's ask AI now. Sacrilege. Bible, King James Version, might as well. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply in the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, the oversized reptilians, perhaps. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, the crossbreeding, perhaps, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Spicy Memes says, reptilians are actually from Earth. Yeah, that's the other theory, that they originated on Earth. Good point, Spicy Memes. Thank you. Taco has a link. Dare we look? Yes, we dare. Green Tea says, I believe humans are the only species that has an issue with RH factors not melding. A strong suggestion we are hybrids. And here from Taco. We can't play it, but there's a video you can look up on YouTube. 10 historic royals to which you are most likely related. Cool beans, Taco. Thank you. Taco says you're smart for looking at the KJV. Yeah, I wasn't going to trust that author's interpretation. Mr. Mackey has arrived. Mr. Mackey says, I hope Peter's doing okay. Me too. I'm not sure which Pete you mean, but I hope he is too. Thank you, Taco. These passages from Genesis, again, are evidence of interbreeding. The Nephilim is an ambiguous term, but it is commonly believed to mean those who have descended, or the fallen ones, leading to people believing that the Nephilim are fallen angels or greater beings. These were actually reptilians who interbred with the daughters of humans, with their offspring becoming the hybrids. Finally, in the book of Revelations, Satan is described as a serpent and a dragon, and he is cast down to earth with his angels. This is a Draco and his reptoids. Of course, this theory only works if you believe in the Bible. But what's interesting is that the Bible isn't the only ancient source where there are stories of reptiles interacting with humans. That's because there's a big history of snake imagery throughout the world. We're going to speed it up a little bit here. It's coming to that time when we need a suggestion, and we already have one from Green Tea. We already have a new one. We have a really nice old one from Taco. Let me just neaten this up. Okay, thanks for waiting. What else is in the top 10 list? Yeah, there's a connection to the Greys, which is, they may be possibly connected to the alien race known as the Greys. The Greys are controlled by the Reptilians in this case. The Illuminati, secret societies, are supposed to be controlled by the Dracos, the highest in the hierarchy of the Reptilians, and their goal. There's much debate. Some people say they just have a need for power. Causing human suffering to ensure there's constant conflict because they consume negative energy. And that's not a picture you want children to see. Okay. Taco with a incident. Thank you, Taco. Who's that one first? We need suggestions, people. YouTube, Twitch. Put your thinking caps on. The rest of the show is yours alone. Brendan Ryan is here. I think if we're still talking about Bibles, Brendan Ryan says Dewey Rhymes is a better version. Delta Dog is here. Delta Dog recently found out his girlfriend was a reptilian. Brendan Ryan suggests reptile vampires. Okay, let's diminish this list. And I'm missing a search engine. So let's just duplicate this. Put it in the front. It's not that, but it is now. Where is all place? Welch's has suggested someone to read. Thank you, Welch's. I'm not going to say the name because he is a raging anti-Semite, and I have had complaints that he has even been featured on the show. All right. First up from Green Tea. The Orion Cube / the Yellow Book. What are they and are they real? I've never heard of these. Good topic, Green Tea. I'm hoping they're both the same topic. The Yellow Book, also known as the Orion Cube. Perfect. Eldergrown says on YouTube, if you post suggestions, please use highlights so Bill has a better chance at seeing it. Yes, please, people. Here at, oh, that's X. That is X. We need a story. Mr. Quick is here. The Yellow Cube, not the Yellow Cube. You notice how Google has been sanitized? There's hardly any good stuff on here anymore. Let's try a different search engine. Let's go here. We have the AI version. The Orion Cube, also known as the Yellow Book, is a subject of interest in UFO and alien conspiracies. Welcome, Brittany Eldridge. According to some accounts, it is described as a device that could be used for communication and a recording device of Earth's history up to the evolutionary point in time of the visitors from Orion. It is believed to have been given to Eisenhower by the Orion Group in goodwill to be used by UN authorities, but it never arrived at the UN. The cube is said to project holographic images that can show probable outcomes by way of a hologram, reacting to human interaction and emotions. There are various reports and discussions about the Orion Cube on social media, such as TikTok, where it is often referred to as a mysterious and powerful artifact. There's got to be something with more detail on this topic. There's a time cube here. It's not a time cube. It's the Orion Cube or the Yellow Book. Orion Cube, Yellow Book. Let's just look Orion Cube, because Yellow Book is picking up yellow pages. The Orion Cube extraterrestrial device. Finally. Let's try lifeboat.com. Cypher 9. Welcome, Cypher 9. Says insectoids are fattening the U.S. up on sugar. They love it. Thank you, Cypher. That's a good idea, Eldergrown. Thank you. Here at lifeboat.com. Is a story by Brent Elfman entitled The Orion Cube, an extraterrestrial device hidden by the U.S. Fear not, Green Tea, I have a plan. And the author begins, Dan Burrish, a doctorate in microbiology and former worker for the secret military forces of the U.S., details great puzzling information about ETs, the Orion Cube, time machines, secret government plans, and human extinction. Born in California in '64, he graduated in '86 with a PhD in microbiology. Where's the story? Comments are closed. Well, that was short. Fun topic. Posted by. It goes nowhere. Oh, read more. Thank you. Samson Babayan says, the royal family and the Illuminati are reptiles allegedly. Yes, if you want to rewind the video a little bit, you'll see that we did cover that. Okay, here's the Orion Cube, an ET device hidden by the U.S., written by Ant Srivastava. In 1986, Dan Burrish received an unexpected visit at the University of the University of Las Vegas, by the so-called secret government of the U.S. Two men were in military uniform, and they offered him to work on a top-secret project where he could put his talent to work. In '87, he began working in a Nevada state government office related to prison parole. In '89, he began to receive tissue samples. Burrish examined them at another place and sent the report to the place of origin. In '89, he worked on a secret project and also on the so-called Sharp Storm. But in 1994, he was taken to an underground place called Century 4, a part of Area 51, where he started working on the Aquarius project. There he learned that the military was in possession of ships and extraterrestrial beings. In one department, there was information about beings called Orions, being from the star system Z Reticuli. Also a copy of the agreement made by President Eisenhower with beings called P-50 and the so-called Orions. In a place called the Bay of Galileo, Burr saw different types of spacecraft. One of them was the ship that Bob Lazar was the ship that Bob Lazar saw, a former NASA worker who made Area 51 known in the 80s. Another of the ships he saw was the one that crashed in Roswell in 47. According to Bursch, we have a misguided concept of aliens. Aliens and extraterrestrials are not the same. Aliens are beings that come from other planets. And ETs are humans from the future, despite the etymology of the name. Excuse me. Need coffee. Bib Doylan, welcome, Bib. Bib says, when our president first learned of the initial Roswell crash, he was on the East Coast and immediately embarked on the trip, which coincidentally took place in secret tunnels out of the USA. And it only took 30 minutes. Kanga Kong with a topic suggestion. Thank you, Kanga. We should be able to get to that tonight. Much appreciated, ma'am. Good topic. You're right after taco. They are distinguished in 4 groups. They are classified with the letter P, which means present time, and the years that they lead us in the future. For example, Roswell's are P24. It's the present time plus 24,000 years in the future. The others are known as J-Rod P45, P52, and P54. He says that these J-Rods suffer from a very painful illness, and he participated in a project to try to find a cure. He claimed to have taken blood samples of a female of these beings, and that for 2 years he worked on this project, studying the race. He says assuredly they came to establish a friendly relationship, and that in one of the face-to-face meetings, this one skipped the protocol, pouncing on him. He telepathically transmitted a large amount of information, in which he learned that 2/3 of humanity unalived in a nuclear catastrophe. A part of the people hid underground to survive, and others did it on the surface. 24,000 years later, the most advanced beings on Earth could travel in time, which is why they traveled to Roswell in 1947. Roswell's ship was really a time machine. They did not come from another planet, but from our own. Purple Haze, welcome, sir, and or madam. Welcome, Purple Haze. Purple Haze says, Jupiter rising. According to Colonel Philip J. Corso, who wrote the book The Day After Roswell, beings were made to travel in space-time. These beings must be. They had 2 brains. One of them controlled the ship. and they did not reproduce. So I guess they must have been immortal. He also affirmed that the ship was the key to technological progress. Other group survivors of the extinction evolved on the Moon, on Mars, and finally in Orion, from whence P-52 come, or the Orions, which in spite of being terrestrials, also colonized those other places. Let's see if there's another source here. That one's a little bit in the weeds, I think. How did I lose the... Oh, there's the original search. Yeah, the Brave search engine is much less filtered. Thank goodness. Another Burr story. This looks like it might have different information. The Area 51 device, it says. Let's look for Orion first. Right. At Destructify.com. In a story written by Mustafa Catalari, entitled Project Looking Glass and the Area 51 device that lets us see alternate timelines. This is what I was looking for originally. The greater project is called Project Looking Glass. So what is the yellow cube? Also known as the yellow disk, or the Orion Cube. This device, along with Looking Glass, or the Yellow Book, is utilized by not only the industrial military complex, but also gray aliens, who both are trying to utilize networks of the Yellow Cube to influence timelines. Apparently, this cube or disk is a communication device from surviving ET life forms from the Earth's future. It's also apparently a recording device. This documented eons of human evolution. And it is holographic. The Yellow Cube was handed over to Dwight D. Eisenhower by the Orion Group. Basically a group of insect-like aliens that wanted to interbreed with human beings around World War II in order to jointly control our timeline. They succeeded, apparently, and a lot of nasty stuff that's going down in our world is in direct relation to the fact that the Orion's group aliens are implementing their hive mind control to influence humanity adversely. Whoever uses the Yellow Cube can, theoretically, see probable outcomes as a result of specific actions. However, it's hindered by the consciousness level of whoever was present watching future events unfold. Human emotions, too, would often cloud and influence the results of the events being holographically projected. As of now, the whereabouts of the cube are unknown. However, the Looking Glass is reportedly in Area 51. And that's probably all there is about the cube there. Please, more about the cube. The Orion Cube on Reddit. Dare we do it? Thank you, Taco, for suggestion number 2. Eldergrown with a link to Orion. Thank you, Eldergrown. Almost missed it, buddy. Of course, the Orion slave girl. I think she's known as colloquially. Interesting story about the Orion slave girl. They filmed the Orion slave girl, and when after it was developed, when the dailies came back, I guess, I don't know if they call them dailies in the TV business, but when the dailies came back, she wasn't green enough. So they made the makeup darker. And when the dailies came back again, it still wasn't green enough. So they made the makeup even darker green. And then they found out that the film developers had been compensating for the greenness of her skin. Of course, that's from the original Star Trek series. Thank you, Elder. Dare we try Reddit? Time for disclosure. These all have the same picture. It's a pretty good picture. But which one are you going to click on? Boy, that's a real popular picture. Let's briefly look at Reddit. The Orion Cube, an extraterrestrial device hidden by the U.S. This is a poorly written rehash of the Boris Corso shtick. Nothing new. Oh, so we've read that already. We don't need it. Mumbai. Another Boris story. Steam it. Maybe at Steam it. At steamit.com. In a story posted or written by J1337. Ellen and Orion Cube, Alice's floor UFO holographic quantum mind ghost disclosure. Okay. Looks like he used his tags as his title. Comment Elenin. Borg Jesus. Orion Cube. February 21st, 1954, while on a vacation to Palm Springs, California. Crunk is here. Crunk says the Black Matter TV show shows what the Black Cube tech is. Can you give us a link, Crunk? Can you paste a link there into chat? While on a vacation to Palm Springs, California, President Dwight D. Eisenhower went missing and allegedly was taken to Edwards Air Force Base for a secret meeting. Welcome, Sean Grimm. When he showed up the next morning at a church service in Los Angeles, reporters were told that he had to have emergency dental treatment and had visited a local dentist. The dentist later appeared at a function that evening and was presented as the dentist who had treated Eisenhower. The missing night and morning has subsequently fueled rumors that the president was using the alleged dentist visit as a cover story for an extraordinary event. The event is possibly the most significant that any American president could have conducted. An alleged first contact meeting with extraterrestrials at the Air Force Base, and the beginning of a series of meetings with different ET races that led to a treaty that was eventually signed between the U.S. and aliens. The missing president and dentist cover story provides circumstantial evidence that the true purpose of his vacation was for him to attend this event. It was never disclosed to the public. Welcome, Stratomaster. Taco says, emergency dental my foot. He was womanizing. Welcome to the mothball. In 1953, astronomers discovered large objects in space, moving towards Earth. It was first believed they were asteroids. Later evidence proved the objects could only be spacecraft. Project Sigma intercepted alien radio communications. Excuse me. Welcome to Pedro Rojas Cervantes. Welcome, Pedro. J-Tig is here. J-Tig just found this channel. When the interstellar objects reached the Earth, they took up a very high orbit around the equator. There were several huge ships. Their intent was unknown. Project Sigma and a new project, Plato, through radio communications using computer binary language, was able to arrange a landing that resulted in face-to-face contact with alien beings from another planet. Project Plato was tasked with establishing diplomatic relations with the race of space aliens. In the meantime, a race of human-looking aliens contacted the U.S. government. This alien group warned us against the aliens orbiting the equator and offered to help us with our spiritual development. As a major condition, however, they demanded we dismantle and destroy our nuclear weapons. I was trying to think of another word, but arsenal. They demanded that we dismantle and destroy our nuclear arsenal. They refused to exchange technology, citing that we were spiritually unable to handle the technology they possessed. They sound pretty smart so far. I wonder which one we chose. They believed that we would use any new technology to destroy one another. This race stated that we were on the path of self-destruction and we must stop killing, stop pollution of the earth, stop pillaging the earth's natural resources, and learn to live in harmony. These terms were met with extreme suspicion, especially the major condition of nuclear disarmament. It was believed that meeting that condition would leave us helpless in the face of obvious alien threat. We also had nothing in history to help with the decision. The U.S. did not consider nuclear disarmament to be within our best interest. The overture was rejected. Later in 1954, the race of large-nosed gray aliens. Large-nosed? Wow. They must be French. Which had been orbiting the Earth, landed at Holloman Air Force Base. An agreement was reached. This race identified themselves as originating from a planet around a red star in the constellation of Orion, which we call Betelgeuse. They stated that their planet was dying and that at some point in the unknown future, they would no longer be able to survive there. The meeting at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico has reportedly been the site of subsequent ET meetings with the same ETs who signed the 1954 treaty. In 1973, for example, producer Robert Emaninger and Alan Sandler had allegedly been offered and witnessed actual Air Force film footage of a meeting involving gray ETs that occurred at Holloman Air Force Base in '71. Cooper explained the terms of the 1954 treaty reached with the Greys as follows. Synchro 505 says they were proboscis monkey aliens. Boy, are those primates ugly. I'm talking ugly. Proboscis monkeys. If you've never seen a proboscis monkey, we're going to see one now. It's one ugly primate. Everybody's got to get into the act. I got 1 million of them. Thank you, Mrs. Somebody, wherever you are. Calabash, is it Calabash? Thank you, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Yeah, there must have been some scary aliens. Kanga Kong informs us that the website called Above Top Secret is a good resource. Thank you, Kanga Kong. The treaty stated that the aliens would not interfere in our affairs, and we would not interfere in theirs. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and help us in our technological development. Welcome, Stratomaster. They would not make any treaty with any other nation on Earth. They were allowed to abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development, with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed. They would be returned to their point of abduction, would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish Majesty 12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regular schedule. Some of those who have accessed specific details regarding future events contained in the Orion Cube have been totally devastated by the implications. The P-45 J-rods were successfully talked out of treaty authorized by present human abductions. That syntax is a little mixed up. I'm sorry, folks. By the use of a ruse involving the Orion Cube. Alice's floor. Then we go on to another topic. Project Looking Glass, I think. Alice's floor. It's another floor in the building, maybe. Interesting stuff. It actually shows the floor itself here. Area S4, Alice's floor. There's Orion. That's got to be Zeta Reticuli there. I seem to remember it from the famous movie. No map of the cube floor, though. They say they don't know where it is these days. Elder says, Jimmy Durante aliens. I got 1 million of them. Thank you, Green Tea. Next topic. It is 5 minutes after the hour. Next up is Oh No, It's Taco. Let's save this so I know what it is later. Or a better one. What's a better one? This one's better. This one's maybe the best. Let's save this one. Let's save this one. The first one. And we'll get rid of these guys. From Oh No, It's Taco. This evening. The Cosford Incident, March 1993. Thank you, Taco. Let's try UFO Insight. The British UFO Mystery. Here at UFOinsight.com, in a story written by Marcus Louth, a frequent contributor also to Before It's News, I believe. I've seen his name there. And Marcus begins. Not only did more than 100 people witness the Cosford Incident over the night skies of Shropshire in the south of England in March of 1993. Many of them were military personnel and police officers, lending the sighting even more credence. Spread across 2 nights. These sightings are some of the most credible on record and documented extensively by one of the UK's leading UFO researchers, Nicholas Pope. Furthermore, Pope was active in his role with the Ministry of Defense, investigating such sightings, and so has first-hand insight into these events. Not only are the sightings some of his most credible, the 2-day incident is arguably one of the most detailed, due to the sheer number of witness reports. Given that many people would not report seeing a UFO for fear of ridicule or disbelief. In the words of Nick Pope, we can only guess at the number of sightings that went unreported that night. March the 30th, 1993, Southwest England. A little past 8:30 p.m., sightings of a large unknown object began to reach police. The first detailed report came from an off-duty officer. He and a group of local scouts were out in the Quantock Hills when they all saw the mammoth object overhead. The officer would describe it as 2 Concords flying side by side and joined together. Reports would continue through the evening, all similar in description, and the vast majority of them from sound and stable witnesses. Furthermore, from the reports and their locations, a timeline of events was able to be built. An entire family in Rugley in Staffordshire would report they witnessed the craft in front of them, extremely low to the ground. It appeared to be around 200 meters across, and after following it for several minutes, they believed it landed in a field near the road. By the time they had tracked down the suspected location, the object was nowhere to be seen. One bizarre report would come courtesy of Doug Cooper, UFO researcher. He had spoken with a farmer whose cattle were unnerved shortly after midnight on the first evening. By the time the witness had made his way to the field, where his cattle were, to his amazement, the entire herd stood in a circle, completely silent. Well, they need to line them up. It's more efficient when they're taking samples, I guess. The next evening, more sightings, plus laser beams. The following evening was just as active, if not more. Sightings again began to hit police switchboards in much of the south of England, as far as the West Midlands. This evening, however, many police officers were already on alert and on location. Thank you, Rhino Rex, for the suggestion. That sounds really cool, Rhino. Thank you so much. We're going to slap that in the list. Both RAF Shawbury and RAF Cosford, Royal Air Force, would witness sightings over their bases. An object with two white lights and a faint red glow zipped over RAF Cosford at great velocity. As well as the official report from the base, there were numerous sightings from civilians in the area. The sightings at RAF Shawbury was even more dramatic. The meteorological officer at the base would report seeing the strange craft approach the base with slow control, moving around 30 miles an hour. A strange laser-like beam emerged from its underside towards the ground below. They were scanning. It would sweep from side to side as if looking for something. An unpleasant rumbling began, which the officer could feel as well as hear. Then suddenly the lights went out, and the craft shot away at breathtaking speed. The officer in question wished to remain anonymous. He did, however, state to Nick Pope the encounter was unlike anything he had ever seen. A point noted at the time by Pope was, despite the obvious presence of something over the bases, nothing was picked up on radar. This was of considerable defense interest, and in terms of the Ministry of Defense, required immediate investigation. A high-ranking MOD official would state in their report that there would seem to be evidence on this occasion that a UFO of unknown origin was operating over the UK. This is the public statement. The public report. Amazing. Green Tea wonders why Google would scrub so much on the Orion Cube. It's not just the cube. It's things like stories like these that they're scrubbing. Satellite interest in triangular lights. Skeptics would argue that what people were seeing was the re-entry of the Russian satellite Cosmos 2238. While that would account for some of the sightings shortly after midnight on the second evening, it does not explain the events of the previous evening. And it certainly doesn't explain the report from the family who claimed to see the object land in a field. An interesting point by respected ufologist Jenny Randalls is that many such reentries result in sightings and reports of UFOs. It is, she claims, as if it is something of interest for them. Many of the Cosford sightings would state the craft had a triangular shape to it. More specifically, the orange lights on the underside gave this impression that it was triangular. They must have traced its, one might not say, one probably shouldn't say circumference, its perimeter. The lights probably traced its perimeter. Coincidentally or not, exactly 3 years earlier, almost identically shaped crafts were spotted over the skies of Belgium. It was the latest in a wave of sightings that hundreds of people witnessed. Indeed, the world's press descended upon the nation. Even the authorities themselves would issue statements and advice on how to make reports of sightings. This particular sighting of this wave would be tracked by military radar. And it would result in the dispatch of F-16 fighter jets in an attempt to intercept the object. The Belgium wave, as it became known, actually began in November 1989, almost 6 months before the attempted interception. Were these objects also over England in 1993, 4 years later? The same that had befuddled residents of Belgium 3 years previous. Given the response of the Ministry of Defense, it's clear that the Cosford sightings were out of the ordinary, even for UFO incidents. As Nick Pope would state, the summary by his one-time employers was, quote, about as close as the MOD will ever get to saying there's more to UFOs than misidentification or hoaxes, end quote. Many people suggest that the sightings were not extraterrestrial, but top-secret black-budget programs. Many suggest likewise for the aforementioned Belgium wave. What is interesting regarding the descriptions of triangular crafts at both sightings is a recently discovered patent from 2004. According to the story, the patent, if it is genuine, is for the TR-3B, Tango Romeo 3 Bravo, a triangular spacecraft. A spacecraft having a triangular hull, with vertical electrostatic line charges on each corner that produce a horizontal electric field parallel to the sides of the hull. This field, interacting with a plane wave emitted by antennas on the side of the hull, generates a force per volume combining both lift and propulsion. End quote. Where are quotes coming from? According to the story, given the response, the most recent quote being from respected ufologist Jenny Randalls. So maybe Jenny. Brittany Eldridge says Belgium. I'm Portuguese, but found out that our heritage was actually Belgians who landed on the Azores and never left. Thank goodness for that. No, this is Nick Pope. Actually, Nick Pope is here. So it's probably a Nick Pope quote. Incidentally, the Ministry of Defense did inquire with the U.S. military if the sightings were their crafts. Perhaps there had been a breakdown in communication before a test. According to Pope, the response was that they too had been seeing such crafts over their skies. Furthermore, they had pondered whether to inquire if the crafts were secret RAF aircraft. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's move to the next topic. In a suggestion by Rhino Rex, at 21 minutes past the hour. Let's keep one of these, this one, and put in Rhino Rex's idea. Rhino Rex, did you change your name back? Let's see. And that idea is... Wait, did we do Kanga Kong yet? We did not do Kanga Kong yet. Kanga Kong is first, Rhinos. My apologies. Theodosius III is here. Welcome, Theodosius. From Kanga Kong. And a very important topic for our times. Why did it change on your screen? Oh, it's a different Rhino Rex. Okay. No, because I thought first it went to Rhinosaurus T-Rex, and then it went back to... But now it's Rhino Rex. Maybe I'm probably wrong. Pardon me. And now from Kenga. Let's get the front of the topic. How Google has been sanitized. Censorship by Google. It has its own Wikipedia page. It was Rhinoceros for a bit. Oh, okay. Because I typed it and they wouldn't let me change it for a month or two. Okay. So Rhino Rex is the new one. Oh, wow. Scott Bonata is here. Welcome, Scott. Scott says, ancient polygonal triangle symbol. Something like that. A mathematical perfect symbol. The tattooed monkey talks about his. He got it stamped on the back of his hand. Check it out on YouTube. Thank you, Scott. Also newly here that I can see is 4Pocket Walker Home Baby 1. Welcome, 4Pocket. Sanitize. So let's say censored. How has Google been censored? Uh-oh, the dragon was on. There's censored right there. How Google has been censored? Reddit Is Google's censorship a deal breaker? Eldergone says Bill's clock is 3 minutes slower than mine. I've noticed that, Elder. Especially when you're announcing the start of the show, which I appreciate. I'm thinking, wait, is Elder a little bit fast there? Why do we have different times if both of our times are set by the computer? Right? It's weird. We got to look into this. Yeah, let's check out Reddit, where people get the angriest at what's going on. Guaranteed. Elder says too many rhinos. Synchro calls it the Google Tidy Bowl. Okay, and a poster who goes by the name of Distinct Resident 95. There it is, big. Whose account has been suspended, with all his previous actions being accessible. Welcome, Dinkamasi. Stuck at work today. Welcome, Dinkum. A distinct resident in the subreddit browsers. He has a question. While I suspected it, he says, I recently confirmed that Google does censor some search results. Yeah, they've been doing it for probably a long time, but I only noticed it like maybe 3 years ago that they started. It's gotten really bad, though. You can't find any spooky stuff anymore. They don't want to put the spooky stuff on there. When Rod Serling first came out with a Twilight Zone, it was sponsored by soap companies, for Christmas sake. Now no one wants to. People, all the advertisers want to shy away from spooky content. Give me a break. Twilight Zone was a hit. Patricia Woldemichael is here. Patricia, what's your theory? Interesting question. Which I'm not going to read out loud because it's political. But I would like to know, Patricia. Synchro suggests they probably think that spooky stuff is a gateway drug to conspiracy theories. Yeah, conspiracy theories, too, have been whitewashed from the Google site. The Google search engine results. Good one, Pat. Thank you. Good one, Patricia. And Distinct Resident continues, I do find Google search invaluable for researching technical topics related to my IT job. In that area, it consistently delivers the most relevant and accurate information. I even find tools like Gemini Advanced helpful. However, I am troubled by censorship, even on sensitive subjects. Yeah, me too. As an alternate, I've started using Brave. The Brave browser is Chromium-based, and its search engine has improved significantly. Features like search summaries and discussions offer a fresh perspective. With all that in mind, what do you think? How many answers do we get here? Drunken Gerbils says, or posted, I'm a frog who's been boiled by big tech companies like Google and Meta. Meta being the former Facebook. While I disagree with their censorship, in principle, the ubiquity They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And convenience of their services are too much of a temptation. Not me. I go to someplace else if I have to. Google has recently been my go-to for image search only. Everything else is other stuff, other search engines. Unfortunately, these companies' services are so baked into the cultural landscape at this point. I think the only real hope of fighting back effectively, on a scale that would make actual difference, would be government regulation. We agree there. That comes with a boatload of hurdles to overcome in its own right, but is probably our only hope. The Redditor, or the Reddit, what do you call a Reddit reader? The Reddit poster Discord says, oh, before I get too much, going too much longer, let me promo the movie here real briefly. And the movie coming up this Wednesday night, only on Twitch. Kingdom of the Spiders. An arachnophobe's worst nightmare. With a title like that, you know what to expect, but it's actually rather good. And it stars William Shatner. Shot beneath sunny Arizona skies, Woody Strode contributes his usual gravitas to what proves to be a rather small part, while Tiffany Bowling must be the most glamorous entomologist of all time. And the ending is a shocker. That review from IMDb. Another review from IMDb for The Immortal. Ben Richards was not only a fugitive from the law, as many of the people he encountered assumed by the way he acted, but a fugitive from the human race. He could not seek help from the authorities because he had something no one else had and everyone wanted. Immortality that was also contagious through a blood transfusion from him. When you get down to it, we are all terminally ill. We just sugarcoat the term and call ourselves mortals. But what would anyone give to cure themselves of their own terminal illness? The terminal illness we call immortality. Capture one man and turn him into a blood donor for the human race. Interesting stuff. Don't miss it this coming Wednesday. Guest host Gotcha Man with a new persona. Don't miss it. DS-Cord says, I found it really difficult to move away from Google. DuckDuckGo and Brave Search were almost good enough. But what finally made me quit is Kagi. Oh, no kidding. Kagi's a new search engine, huh? I am intrigued. Let us check it out. Let's check it out by duplicating this tab and going home to Brave. Putting in Kagi. Kagi search engine. Yeah, let's go there. A premium search engine. Liberate your search. No ads, no tracking, no compromise. Just deep, powerful search. Start your journey. The last search engine you'll ever need. Yeah, let's take a look. Quickly as we can. Really. You have to sign up. Isn't that special? Okay, Google, please. Sign in, continue. Almost done. Start searching. We'll customize later. We'll use this for the next topic. Thank you, DS-Cord. Next up, a post from Neuter World Order. Search engines and browsers are separate things. No need to blend the two topics. Okay, but for search engines, in my humble opinion, it means you need to get in the mindset of remembering there are a lot of options and they all have pros and cons. Censorship being one of the cons. If Google search gives you the best results when you're researching for work, keep doing that. It does not. Not for this work. At the same time, keep in mind you should use something else. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Poster, and my will remains. While Google reliably gives me information for which I'm looking, sometimes it won't tell me what I want to hear. Poster 816 account. Bad Wolf has arrived. Welcome, Bad Wolf. Welcome, Eric Red. Eric says, Go was the last good one, and then Goggles ruined it. Oh, DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo was the last good one, and then Goggles ruined it. Do you mean Google ruined it? Who was Goggles, Eric? Did Google buy DuckDuckGo? Yes, says Eric. Yeah, that's not good. No more DuckDuckGo for this little boy. Poster HUL Limited. HUL Ltd, actually. What? That's an advertising. That's an advertisement. Poster Alucard Axel. Alucard, of course, being the reverse spelling of Dracula. Everybody has figured out that Google is no longer accurate as it used to be. So I use Kagi. It says here it's a paid search engine. Oh, no thanks. It's got a paid search engine. No, thank you. And I use the index. So do I, my friend. Big Al1 correctly reminds us, and welcome Big Al1, that Google owns YouTube as well. And Eric Red says, Google owns Odyssey as well. Another search engine, I believe. Thank you, Kylie, for carrying the torch. Kylie West with this coming Wednesday's bill. Theodosius with an interesting message. Again, I can't touch it because it's political, but it is interesting. There is another free one. Thank you, Gotcha Man. Let's check it out. Quant, the search engine that values you as a user, not as a product. Accept all enclosed parameters. Yeah, let's do those parameters. We and our selected partners process personal data. You allow. Oh gosh, what can we see more of this? Yeah, okay. So disagree to all this. And A/B testing is required. Good. We'll save that. We'll use Quant instead. But first we're going to see if Kagi is going to try to charge us. Then we'll use Quant. Thank you, Gotcha Man. Scott Bonata says, you all know who Google truly is, don't you? Pray tell, Scott. All right, where were we? Poster Gold Cartographer 342 says, there are 300 people with the name Gold Cartographer. Bagawk. And Gold says, according to the poster printed by the U.S. Department of Labor itself. Overview. What? Did I do something bad? Can we go back one? Yes. Google is a highly cultivated wasteland with no actual research utility worth spending any time picking through. The first several pages of results for anything I'm looking for, no matter how trivial, are just whatever their obvious party line is or perceived common opinion. Maybe it's directed by advertisers as well, Gold Cartographer. For example, if you want to research moon phases related to wildlife activity, moon phases as related to wildlife activity, you'll be clicking until page 10 before you start finding the absolute mountain of information, completely gutting the theory, and especially as it relates to inland fishing. It's all theorized from the movement of oysters in a tank and claimed as a fact for all wildlife. Huge myth in hunting and fishing. And if it is a factor, it's so minimal it's not even worth looking at. Are you coastal and fishing? Different story in several ways. Search for that in a different browser, no problem. Top result every time. No issues. Google, page flipping 10. How deep do I need to go? If it's there at all, to find a different perspective on something that actually has a massive impact on humanity, on Google. We know they manipulate results, and it was not like this over a decade ago. Praise Jesus, Gold Cartographer. Damien G is here. Welcome, Damien. Poster, fun temperature. Now that I can believe there's 2,000 people. But Gold Cartographer with over 300. Fun Temp says, or Fun Temp posted, there are plenty of options to Google. For example, YouTube, DuckDuckGo, Brave. Of those, Brave is really the only one that's applicable at this point in time. I refuse to use Google Documents or Google Play or Google Apps. It's difficult to get through Google. It's difficult to get apps without Google Apps, though, my friend. I have the other one. I have the, one might say the dark web one. But Google Apps is kind of it's an essential if you want apps for Android. Sephora with a advertisement. Jane Phillips uses IX Quick. Thank you, Jane. Let's check that one out too. And welcome, Jane. Let's double quant here. Duplicate. Yes, but move it over here and make it look for IX Quick. It says start page. I wonder if that's their new name or something. Because everything's saying start page. Has that been renamed, Jane? IX Quick now encrypts all searches, search engine land. Maybe an old article, however. Cypher 9 with a Pineal post. Or Pineal chat. IX quick. Let's look at it search engine wise with the bad guy. You're looking for IX quick. Again, first result, start page. IX quick. Okay, what is this? It is start page, evidently. Okay, we'll use that as a third option. And that is right here. Okay. All set. Oh, I want to get to, let's move on to the next topic. It is 46 minutes past the hour. And we're going to be looking into a suggestion by Rhino Rex. Sorry, Taco, not looking too good for your second request this evening. I will keep hold of it, however, because it's a good one. And because you don't know it's Taco. Louis Bonacera is here. Welcome, Louis. They live, Louis reminds us. If you find a little section on They Live, if you reverse to or back up to the beginning of the live cast, Mr. Bonacera. So next up from Rhino Rex. First try Kagi. Are they going to try to charge us? And Rhino Rex is here. Bones on Mars. I like it. Thank you, Rhino. Personalization options. Oh, maybe that's what you have to pay for. And they put an ad up every time for personalization options. Remove low quality or distracting websites. Actually, the ones I look for, mostly are low quality. That's not going to work for me. And distracting. Can I X out? You can X out, though, every time. Bone up on Mars rock shapes. The Daily Mail, yes, please. Let's get one from each. Quant. Did I ever copy that one? I don't think I did. Bones on Mars. From Quant. Give us some nice trashy websites, please. Salutations, Henry Sterling. And S. Michelle is here. Yes, S. Michelle, we are live every week, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Scott Bonato with a suggestion. Thank you, Scott. I will save that for next week. Don't be afraid to come back. James Anderson, hello. James Anderson greets us from Taft, California. NASA rover finds strange bone-looking Mars. That's Space Explored. Oh, yeah, look at that. Looks like it has spines. Dragon bones on Mars. Science Times, good news. Bizarre bone-like. No, not a long time before results. So far, Kagi is winning. Kagi with the G. Kagi's winning on searches so far. And finally, startup page or IX. You're welcome, Scott. Still there? No. That's Scott's suggestion. Let's go back to the my massive utility. And Bones on Mars. Sci-fi. MOS, whatever that is. Space Explored, first post. Prehistoric life on Mars. Earth sky. I'm going to have to say Kagi. Of these three, it gives good Night Terrors results. Okay, let's do it. Did we open up a new page already? No. We have a Dear Spectrum ad. Goodbye. Here at the dailymail.uk is a story by Harry Petit for Mail Online. It's actually dailymail.co.uk where this article is located. And it's entitled, Fossilized Alien Bones Are Spotted on Mars by NASA's Curiosity rover. UFO hunters have found fossilized alien bones on Mars after scouring through images taken by NASA's Curiosity rover. The rover has been exploring the surface of the red planet since 2009. That's 16 years. All of the images of any rover takes, of course, are in the public domain because it's a photograph taken by a government organization for which we pay tax dollars, which the author indicates in his third paragraph. Two images taken by the craft appear to be what could be a thigh bones protruding from the planet's surface, while another resembles a hip bone. Oh my God, and they're in the same places. They're in the same freaking place. Not like the silverware of Mars. Incredible. I got to take a close-up look at this. We want to open image, new tab, please. Here being the thigh bone, and down here being the vertebrae. Incredible. Incredible. Martian archaeology, it says here. I think they're giving credit to a YouTube video. Probably at the YouTube channel, Martian Archaeology. The pictures are presented in a video from conspiracy theorist group Martian Archaeology, alongside several other curiosity images appearing to show signs of life. These include reported signs of lichen and other fungi, and other biological life growing on Mars, or that grew on Mars. T.J. Devereaux wrote, "After years of research and study, I am convinced now more than ever that there is much more to Mars than what NASA admits to. I am certain that life, including water, and intelligent life forms, once occupied the planet, and that both still exist in much smaller quantities." A mysterious circular rock formation on the surface of Mars was captured by the rover last week. This formation excited alien hunters online, inviting speculation over how it came to be. Well, that looks like a skull. See if we got an eye socket. Check that out. Almost looks amphibian. Let's get a close-up look. Indeed. Well, look at the similarity between that and a hip bone on the left. I would say it's more likely to be an eye socket, however. It's even curved. It's even concave, just like the hip bone. Wow. They suggested the rocks were laid out by another form of life, or that they were a part of a larger buried structure. Whatever we're seeing here, and here's an unattributed quote, it's in a perfect circle, and it's much different from the craters that we normally see on Mars and the Moon, and throughout the other planets in the solar system. This almost looks like these rocks were arranged in this circular formation. What rocks? I'm doing it the slow way. I could just go to the pictures themselves, right? I don't see a circle there. No, don't see it yet. Maybe they forgot to put the picture in. Either that or this could potentially be some sort of ruin. One thing is for sure in this unattributed quote. Oh, the quote is from one space enthusiast said in a video posted on the YouTube channel Secure Team 10. Brittany Eldridge says, looking at Earth from SED-light, you can conclude that all the land is made of giant creatures of old. Yes, that's something, mud something theory. That's the mud something theory, right? Mud fossil theory, right? Good memory, Brittany. Either that or this could be a ruin. One thing is for sure, I've never seen anything quite like it on Mars. It looks out of place. End quote. They compared it to another formation discovered in 2015, which appeared to bear similarities to Stonehenge. Where's that one? Why are they keeping all the good... oh, the circle. There's the circle. I think. It's underneath the... it's underneath the bone. Huh. Interesting. That couldn't be a miniature crater, though, so maybe that's not the one they're talking about. The discovery of that Stonehenge was spotted on top of a raised mound. It became known as Marshenge. Wow. There it is. Thank you, article, for eventually giving us the picture. Is that the Marshenge? No, that's the circular formation. We're going to see the Marshenge, though. I kid you not. We're not gonna let this go without seeing that. Excuse me. I just found this. I just found this delicious raspberry ginger ale. I think it was at Price Chopper. Diet. It doesn't taste really like ginger ale, but it tastes a marvelous raspberry. Oh, check that out. Hell yeah. And that's just, these are small stones. This is not a view from millions of miles, over the planet. This is at footprint level. Where is that Marshenge? Let's see if they have it in the article first. Also spotted have been pyramids and tree stumps. Tree stumps I kind of like to see too. Let's copy it. Tree stumps. Where's Marshenge? There it is. Copy that. Are You Serious has arrived. Are You Serious says donuts are circular formations. One Shine Bond is here. Well, welcome, One Shine and family. Good to see you too, my brother. Okay, now it's time to see them because that's the end of that article, I believe. Yeah, we just have comments. Michael says it's a campfire from the previous evening. And like good little Martians, they threw sand on it after they were done. That's the responsible thing to do. Since there's no water, you got to put sand on it. Brittany Eldridge says donuts are Taurus fields. Green Tea says they let it out that they've been colorizing the pictures red. I think I read that. No pun intended. There are actually other colors on Mars, says Green Tea. Okay, we got to see those pictures. First, we're looking for, let's go for the work up to the Marshenge. First, we want to see those tree stumps, man. And that is here. Proboscis monkey. Going to be replaced by tree stumps. On Mars. I pushed enter. Go back to small size, please. Kylie West says humans are on Mars now. Someone has arrived. Someone says, I'm just going to put this out there. That is not Mars. If you look at Earth, our poles are ice. Mars is a lot further away from the sun, so it should be covered in ice. I actually think these images, and there it ends. Two Feathers complains, why color it red if it's not red? Man, you can't believe anything anymore. Good point, Two Feathers. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. Holy moly. A tree trunk ravaged by the millennia of the windstorms of Mars. I think there's another one, too. That looks like a damn tree stump. I think there's a more one with roots that show. I just saw it. Where is it? Oh, here. Oh, it's this picture. This, let's compare it. This is on Earth, but it's still an old tree stump that has not been ravaged by the millennia of winds. Must be ironwood on Mars. UFO friends in New Jersey. Welcome, I Constellation. UFO France has an interesting tale. Someone continues, I think the images are Antarctica, not Mars. We are not allowed to explore Antarctica. That is true. Freedom of the press does not extend that far. Next up, Marshenge. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Eldergon with a link. Almost missed it. At the Daily Grail. All right. Yeah. Martian Stonehenge. Wow. Ooh, and the colorized red. Where's the best resolution? Let's try, what's a YouTube? There's the Daily Mail. Theirs are not too big. There's a comparison at medium. How big is that picture? Not very big. What about down here? How big is the Daily Mail? Not much bigger. How big is the YouTube? Oh, it's a video. Can't do the video. Let's check out the this one. This is from the Daily Mail. A nearly perfect square, of course. The stone might have slipped, right? From aforesaid winds or natural erosion from winds, eating away the sand beneath it, right? Showing that all of these lie in the same circumference, the inner circle here. And smaller stones on the outer circumference. Very similar to Stonehenge. You can't see it in this picture, but there are outer stones, and they're probably farther away than this. I'm not sure how far away they are, but there are outer stones that surround the visible rings of Stonehenge. They're buried. And also as inner stones too, of course, but It has exactly similar outer stones as well. Okay, people, don't forget, coming up this Wednesday only on Twitch. Is Gotcha Man's double feature Night Terrors movie night. The Immortal. Whoops. Starting with the first one, Bill. Kingdom of the Spiders. Starring William Shatner. Investigating the death of a number of farm animals. The town's veterinarian discovers that his town lies in the path of hordes of migrating tarantulas. Before he can take action, the streets are overrun by killer spiders, trapping a small group of townsfolk in a remote hotel. Followed by The Immortal, the TV pilot for the series, in which an immortal man, whose blood can have miraculous health benefits, is a fugitive from those who would exploit him for his blood, and the brother for whom he is searching. Okay, guys, we'll see you on movie night. Until then, God bless and protect you all.